Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV as we bring opening night to you from Daytona in the East Coast Web Printers Arca series here tonight. Something a little different. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, Arca at Daytona should be a very interesting night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar with how this race is going to look. I mean, I've seen some races be done this week in the Arca car on the official side, but it's going to be interesting to see, how this race transpires. A long race, longer than the Arca cars, usually run at Daytona, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays a factor.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes to the front, right, Jared? I mean, we don't know who the favorites are out here. Who likes this Arca car? It's definitely different. Of course, Daytona. It's going to be also different. I remember when it first came out, Jared, I ran some Arca, and I can tell you, the runs were out of this world. So it was a lot of fun, but you would be lucky to survive 2 laps the way we were racing anyway. So I'm very interested to see if these guys can temper it down a little bit, especially in the early going here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look through the list. I mean, pretty good field. I mean, 29 cars it looks like here tonight. I do see that Austin Kraus isn't in the server now, so it might be only 28 cars. So not a bad field. And we got some really close qualifying times, but this is a pretty familiar group of drivers. So it'll be interesting to see, how they kind of take, what they've done in other series, and is that kind of still, their partnerships and things like that, and how people race, is that going to carry over to this new car? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. Getting some good close-up of these paints because we haven't seen a lot of them yet. There's Claus Williams. You got Jacob Musial up there on the high side. And that 38. Got the flames going, Jared. How do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, my train paints isn't working, so there it goes. We got it now. I was just getting a white car,
right.
So I didn't know what to look at. But it looks good on that car.
Tony Ratliff, a little different. They got the Winn-Dixie machine. You see the 3, that's Jason Brantley coming around with your title sponsor there, East Coast Web Printers. Go check them out for all your web printing needs. And we got a newcomer out here tonight. Tony Burleson's out here on the track. A sharp looking ride there too.
A lot of drivers, and Dean, I'm watching some guys practice pit road. That's going to be crucial here tonight. I don't, to be honest with you, don't know what the fuel mileage is looking at in this car because I haven't ran it really at a plate race. So it's going to be interesting. I would say that they're probably around the trucks, which is around 35. Maybe it's slightly longer, maybe 40 laps is what we're looking here on fuel.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how that plays out. I think at minimum it's a 2-stop strategy. The question is that on the 30 laps? Is that around the fuel mileage? I don't know.
Yeah, that's also true. It could be less than the trucks.
And there's a danger entering pit road. Just seen Tom Lester spin it there. You got to get that brake bias right, Jared. Very crucial here. Get your braking correct for pit entrance.
Yeah, and you can only go so far on the bias. I mean, plus or minus 3%, and it's fixed setup. So I mean, you can dial it up in the setup before you get on the track, but you got to remember to change that. Otherwise, you go back to the default numbers.
There's a look at the number 90. That's for you, JLB, out in the chat. That number 90, he'll be rooting on that. He's got the East Coast Web Printers on the hood there. So Shane Fleming looking for a big night tonight, Jared.
Yep, and drivers getting called to their cars, so about ready to get this thing underway here on the Thursday night series.
Yeah, good stuff. Good turnout. Hopefully we have ourselves a good stellar race. I expect nothing less. I know a couple of people in the field that are going to be looking to go to the front. Jared, we'll see how that plays out for them.
Absolutely. A lot of really good paints out here tonight.
They are
Just
sharp-looking
admiring.
cars. It's not just that they're good-looking paints. These are good-looking cars to paint, Jared. I mean,
Yeah,
kind of harkens back to the old days, doesn't it?
yeah, they're the Gen 6 bodies, the old Gen 6 bodies, right? I mean, from I guess 10 or 15 years ago at this point. It's crazy to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. It is a little crazy. Let's get into tonight's starting grid for the Daytona 225. Michael Otto-Viani on the point here tonight. Looking good with a time of 51:007. We'll get a look at the George Leal on the outside of row number 1. You got Royce Valley and Jason Brantley in row number 2. It's Whitford and Hund in row 3. Row 4, Shane Fleming and Rick Thompson are there. You got Lance Ripka, Rachel Hunt, Brandon Sheffield, and Adam Newton rounding out your top 12 drivers.
And you look back through the rest of this field, Dean. We've got Jacob Musial, Nick Parise there in row 7, Jason Spear, Klaus Williams, row 8, Jason Jackson, Anthony, Tony Burleson there in row 9, Gilly, the Toad Man back there in row 10 with Tony Ratliff, Lester and Paul K. Travis turned the final times in row 11. And then we have Michael Walker, Herb and Tom Ashley, Ricky Williams, Ian Spear, and Eric Whiting, all electing not to take time. Austin Krause not in the server, so he will not be taking part in this race tonight.
All right. Good 28 car field for now. We'll see if Austin Krause does come out of the pits. I don't think he will, though. Otto-Viani and Leal. Good to see Leal back out on the track. We haven't seen him for a while, have we, Jared?
No. Yeah, it's been a while.
All right, fresh off licking my own wounds at Daytona, I'm ready to call this one. We'll see who gets it done here tonight.
I'm ready to be done with Daytona already. Hasn't even started in real life. I'm ready to be done with it.
I'm okay with watching. Let's get ourselves a good watch in here. Pace car off.
Green, green, green.
Green flag drops. We are racing here at Daytona. Otto-Viani and Leal. Valley and Brantley lead them down into 1.
A little straggly back there about row 6 or 7. We're going to have a lane change already there. I think that is the 36 machine of Sheffield that went to the high side. He started on the bottom. Right now, Dean, everybody a little bit straggly there after that group.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, it's early at the start here. I think they're just trying to make sure they don't die here in the first corner.
We have seen it though. I mean, in races we were in already this week together, Dean. Even 2 or 3 laps into the race. I mean, in the trucks, the pack got separated, and the draft model that is in the trucks, that's in the A car, is also on this car. So these guys, we got a couple guys already off the back. I believe that's Ian Spear and Ricky Williams, or Eric Whiting, I should say, well off the back, Dean, and they are not going to get to this pack.
Yeah, that's a real problem for them, Jared. You can see, I mean, they might make it back, Jared. I think they're going to. And that's only because the guys in front of them are going slow right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. But, and, I think that there's a little bit of like, hey, we don't, maybe they don't want their fellow competitors to be dropped out of the race already. I mean, sometimes it's just nice to be, in the race, at least for a couple laps. Up front, though, Leo trying to get a run on the outside, Dean. And we've seen, this week, as this race develops, at least in the vehicles that I have ran, the A car, the truck, the B car, the high line becomes very dominant. So I would not be surprised if the Arca car, same thing goes on. The high line gets dominant, bottom line can't make a move. And you're already starting to see George Leal leading that top line with Jason Brantley right there behind him, and Derek Whitford in third on the outside line. And if these guys can get hooked up, it's hard, Dean. It's hard on the bottom, even this early in the run.
Yeah, and we were just looking at in-car camera and a couple on the bottom. Musial now moving ahead to Fleming. And you can kind of see everything pretty even right now, but you know, pushing also hasn't really begun too much. But what I'm noticing is these cars, especially on that top lane, swaying around a little bit, Jared.
Yeah, and the big thing with these cars, and you see right there, the bottom lane just, you know, as soon as those cars dropped to the bottom, I mean, that top lane was dead. And Rachel Hunt got a little bit of a shove from the 2 machine that really got her sideways, and that checks up that whole outside line all the way back to the 6 machine of Tony Ratliff. Everybody had to check up and take evasive action. That's what really damaged this line. But Dean, the thing about these Arca cars is they have a gigantic spoiler. So that means they have a lot of downforce. But the problem is, even at these tracks, and you see it in real life, if somebody takes the air off that spoiler, it's a little harder, but it can happen, especially when you have several cars lined up. It will make these machines very loose.
Yeah, absolutely it will. That's a great point there, Jared. I'm waiting for these runs that we had, you know, when I practiced these cars. I think they might have changed it. I'm not sure, Jared, but the runs were immense. So, you know, I look for late in this race.
Rachel,
go ahead.
Rachel on the outside, Dean. I mean, sorry, she is. I mean, you're talking about runs. I mean, my goodness, she is just getting shoved to the front by Adam Newton.
Yeah, and this is what I'm used to, right? And you know, Newton, a good pusher. He's working hard there on the bumper. He's trying to bring her to the front, doing a great job. He's got Sheffield right behind him. So that outside lane, absolutely flying. There goes Hunt. Newton's going to go with her. Sheffield stays up. He'll lead the outside lane.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Dean, but I saw that run. I mean, they were, I don't know, probably about around 10th place when we looked at them last. It was in turn 1, and by the time they got to turn 3, Rachel Hunt had been shoved to the lead, led that lap, and now Sheffield gets shoved to the lead by Nick Baris in the 66 machine. So outside line coming to play here. Not a lot of cars up there, only 5 cars up on the high side right now, Dean.
Well, Jared, I got to ask you, first off, I got to ask you, what's the definition of insanity? I mean, everybody knows what they think that definition is, at least. And it seems to me that dropping to the bottom, which we've seen 2 cars do twice, that's a mistake. Well, why not stay up high, Jared?
Well, I think there's a little bit of probably discomfort. I mean, not a lot of drivers like to run the high side, like the true high side. And I don't mean pinching the bottom and kind of running middle. I mean right up against the wall to get the best aero effect you can on these vehicles, trucks, any of these cars with the new draft model. You have to run up against the wall unless you're really trying to make big inroads to the front and you have the side draft on the bottom. But the thing is, it does shift that aero balance quite a bit. And when it does that, it does make the car a little bit loose, so it makes people uncomfortable because right there is the wall. And you obviously don't want to hit the wall going, 187 miles an hour.
Well, it reminds me of someone, a guy named Smithers. How comfortable is he going to be up towards an inch of that wall, Jared?
No comment.
All right now up front, Ricky Williams looking for the lead, and he's got it on the high side. Ripka right behind him, I believe. Tony Ratliff down on the inside. He had the lead for a blink of an eye. Tony Burleson, our newcomer, also took the lead briefly. So a lot of lead changes here, Jared. A lot of shuffling around.
Yeah, Ricky Williams didn't drop down, so I think that's actually a good move. And we've seen Ricky, I've covered Ricky now in 3 different series. I've seen him in the B car. I've seen him in the the Gen 4, and I've seen him in this car now. And Ricky has always been a driver that has come to play at the plate tracks. I mean, this is a little bit of a checkup middle of that pack, and that's going to mess up that line. 47, and I think that was the 79. A little bit miscommunication on a bump there, and that's going to cost Ricky Williams the lead behind him.
Yeah, something with Ripka in the 52 and the 47
52,
there.
sorry.
Yeah, something happening there for sure. That's Royce Valley. Maybe a little bit too much of a push. We'll see. Everybody survives. I was just about to ask, can the high line get the whole line around the bottom, Jared? Is that possible? We'll have to wait a bit to find out, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is, the middle of this group, right there, I mean, Lance is running a little bit where I don't want to be. And what I mean is when he's pushing on the right rear quarter panel, or the left rear quarter panel of Ricky Williams, and he is getting pushed at the same time by the 47 machine. And when that happens, you're just going to get accordion, and it's going to be bad, and you're going to spin each other out, and you're not going to go anywhere at the same time. And you're seeing right now how badly that line is just dying off right there.
Yeah, it looked almost like Ripka's searching for air there, Jared. Is it we're not sure how much these cars can hold up heat-wise?
Yeah, and that is 100% true. And the key with that is, especially on the high side, you want to run, the lead car wants to run about a half a car length off the wall, so the car behind him can poke the half of the grill out. And Ripka was doing that a little bit, but it just seemed like there was a little bit of a sliding around effect going on behind him and causing the accordion to happen. On the bottom, if you run a little bit higher, if the lead car runs a little bit higher in the corners, you can actually stay connected the entire time, and it really helps out. As long as a little bit of air gets in that grill, you can really do that for 5, 10, even 15 laps if you're really good at it.
We'll see how it plays out right now. Williams, Ripka, and Newton trying to get hooked up on the outside and make a run. Here comes Royce Valley to join them, and I think they will get a run here, Jared.
Yeah, you see Ricky, I mean, like I was saying before that issue happened, and Ricky's very good at these play tracks. We've seen him be very competitive here, and people are like, well, it's a play track, you just hold the throttle down and go to the front. And that's not necessarily the case. You have to be able to read the race, you have to be able to make moves, you have to be able to see where the runs are coming a long way in advance than a track like Bristol or something, right? It's a totally different animal. And Ricky Williams does a really good job of reading the runs at these play tracks, and you're seeing him right now. He's side drafting as much as he can on Sheffield, but he just doesn't have the hookup behind him to make a move. But he's still powering forward with that tight side draft.
Yeah, and I like this from everybody, Jared. I don't think it's necessary this very early in the race. There's no need to over push. More of a methodical climb through the field here for the outside lane, and they're coming. They're already there, Jared.
Doing a great job with just 4 of them, and that shows you how impactful a good organized outside line can be. And the other thing too is once you get past 3 or 4 cars, you really have to have everybody working together, prudently. The bottom line is just not really working together. You got gaps all over the place. You got people, one person running high, one person running low, but nobody next to them. I mean, it's disorganized, and when you have disorganization, it's going to also hurt, even all the way up to the first car. If you're in 16th and you're half a second behind the guy in front of you, you're hurting the first car in the pack.
Yeah, definitely a chain reaction. We got more help coming on the outside. That's Jason Spear and Michael Ottaviani deciding to come up there. They got Rachel Hunt with them. So the outside lane back up and running. Ripka looking for the lead. He is your new leader. Ricky Williams might regret going down to the bottom here.
And we've lost 3 drivers from this pack. Michael Walker, one of those, Dean. He is running dead last. And we talked about Michael. We got 3 wide up front. And Lance Ripka just got left behind. My goodness.
Ripka shuffled out. We'll have to sneak in behind Rachel Hunt here, and he'll regroup and reassociate. I'm not sure what happened, Jared. I was looking at those 3 cars. You're playing misdirection with me.
Yeah, I just happened to see it at the corner of my eye on my triples here. It looked like, Adam Newton, I'm just going back and looking, it looked like Adam Newton was pushing Ripka, and Ripka kind of made a half decision to, it looked like he was going to go down to the bottom line, but he didn't. And then Ricky Williams is already underneath of him, and Newton bailed on him and went to the high side, and everybody went with Newton. So Ripka, I have to imagine, probably is going to keep that in the memory bank.
All right, there is Ripka, perhaps steaming out the window, Jared, thinking of revenge. Let's take a look at those other drivers. You got Tom Ashley, Eric Whiting, and Michael Walker. They are back here, and there. Let's go to Ian Spear, and I'll see if I can get a time delta here back to the next person. And it looks to me like that's just, it's ebbing and flowing right now, so we'll see how it goes. Right now, about 2 3/4 seconds off the pace is that group of 3 cars.
And those guys just did their best lap. Ian Spear and Tom Lester at the back of this field, at the back of the pack, did their best lap of the race, 47.3. Tom Ashley, Whiting, and Walker pretty much running identical lap times at 48.17s and 1.9s. So, I mean, that is not going to get the job done, and I don't think 3 cars can catch a single file run like we got in this main pack right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the big key, right? They're all single file, and you got Ricky Williams up here pushing Adam Newton like they're racing for something. I mean, so that's going to keep those guys. If nothing else, it's going to keep these 3 separated.
And they're getting a little scraggly in the back of this field, and I do have some concerns that there's not some paying attention done back in the middle of this field. I'm not entirely sure who that is. Still learning the car paints and everything. Maybe George Leo with a little bit of a gap back there. Couldn't tell, but they will lose this draft if they don't be on top of it. It is a tough draft model, and we kind of saw that in the Gen 4 car when we went to Talladega last year. I mean, it was hard to pass in that car.
You see guys lingering around the back here. Jason Jackson, Ian Spear, Herb Ashley. And there's that other group.
On the apron, Dean. Holy
Eric Whiting and Walker, they're not even together, Jared. What in tarnation are those 3 doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I watched them briefly, but this is not great. They're not even pushing. They're separated. They have been separated for a few laps. And I don't know if there's not a coordinated effort there to like cycle each other out, but they're just hemorrhaging time at this point.
All right, outside lane has surged back to the front. It's Royce Valley along with Jason Spear and Michael Ottaviani. They push their way up here. Here comes the Toad Man along with the 78, the Furniture Row machine. That's Tom Lester up there on the high side.
Yeah, while you were looking back there, Dean, earlier, Brandon Sheffield got shoved from behind, not sure who that was, but shoved into the 44 of Derek Whitford. And Whitford was on the apron in the tri-oval, which is probably the worst time to be on the apron out of anywhere on this track.
Yeah, the tri-oval deadly. One spot where you really shouldn't be making any contact. Good racing here. Newton and Williams along with Tony Ratliff on the inside, holding off this outside charge so far. We're on lap 19 of 90 here at the Daytona 225. Of course, brought to you by East Coast Web Printers.
Right now we're 25% of the way through this race, Dean. So, I would say we'll know when the pit stops are here not too long from now. They'll start thinking about the pits, and you're seeing right now Highline trying to get organized again. Jason Spear, another top-notch plate racer up there on the top pushing Royce Valley.
Yeah, Spear is he'll be in here for the long haul tonight. You know how Spear does at these super speedways. I mean, he's always in contention.
Cycling back in the back, and the back 3 starting to get grouped up. I think it might be too little, too late there. But Dean, you look at this race, and this is important, right? I mean, this is the first race of the year, and you want to start off in a good way, right? You don't want to have to.
Don't remind me, Jared.
Race from behind.
No, you're absolutely right. What you don't want is a horrible finish. You can take a 10th, you can take a 15th, but you can't take a last place finish. That's what you don't want to see. Oh boy, we got another shuffle out here, and that's our newcomer there, I think, stuck in the middle, Burleson. That's a 47 of Royce Valley.
Royce Valley shuffled out, and I don't know exactly. I didn't really see what happened. I just glanced over again to Dean, and just there it was. And I think again, I was watching down the back straightaway there on replay. Royce Valley trying to side draft this bottom line to try to move forward, and Jason Spear said, Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the outside.
And Tony Ratliff jumped up there, and now Ricky Williams jumps down in front of the Bulldog. Ricky Williams back out front. Good one brewing here, and what I like, Jared, they're racing 2x2. That tells me we do not have a fuel mileage race. Thank goodness.
Yeah, provided it goes green, right? You know, it's weird. This week has been super weird. The only time I was involved in any cautions was in the B car, which has the old draft model on it. Drives terrible, so it's no surprise. But everything else has been pretty clean this week.
We get a nice close-up here right off the front of Ricky Williams. You see those cars pretty stable from what I'm seeing right now, Jared.
Yeah, no, everything's looking pretty good.
Pit stops of utmost importance. If they do come in on lap 30 or around lap 30, organization, teamwork, it means everything, Jared.
It does, and you're looking at that high side again, where it's, again, they're making the move. And Dean, if I saw this happen 3 or 4 times, and I think this is where you're going with that insanity question, I would start asking myself, if I keep moving to the front on the high side, why don't I just stay on the high side?
I'm telling you, insanity, right?
You know, I mean, it just makes sense to stay on the high side for these guys. But
like
for some reason,
it's generally, Jared, not even a single lap. Like right now, Tony Ratliff took the lead. No, now it's Spear. So in one lap, less than one lap, you lose the lead, and you got to start thinking about how to get back to the high side to take the lead back. It seems crazy to me. I mean, let's get on the high side and stay there and command this race.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the thing is this is a new draft model, right? I mean, not for this year, but for this season. It came out at the beginning of the 2026 Season 1 patch, which I think was maybe November or something like that. And it updated the trucks with the new draft model everywhere, but there was also some tweaks to the Arca car, some tweaks to the A car on the draft model, but you know, it's going to take some time. You know, if you're used to the old way of doing things where the high side was kind of like, you know, I need to make a move, I need to be on the high side. Now the high side's the new low line, right?
Absolutely. You get a good look. Let's get a look in on this. I want to show you people the detail on this Jason Spear car. Look down there and the old on the driver's side, you'll see a green arrow pointing where that jack goes in. I love that kind of detail.
Yeah, it's great, and that's I think it's available on the template. I could be completely wrong, but it is something that was done for years on the Gen 4 cars in that era, Dean. You know, where they had those numbers and they'd have the arrows pointing to the tear-offs and all kinds of stuff. So cool to see that.
All right, so he drops down along with Otto Viani. They take the lead. A little further back, you got Burleson, and then it's Valley and Rachel Hunt on the high side, along with Musial. So 3 cars will try and come up there, and I got to tell you, I think they can do it.
Yeah, they got to get connected up. Everybody getting single file, Dean, and you know, when I smell 26 cars, actually about 23 cars single file, I'm smelling pit stops, imminent.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, they got to make it to lap 30. You got a few laps, so you better boogity, 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 as old Waltrip would say.
Yeah, 27 opens the window, so you could pit on 27, you could pit on 54, and that gets you to 81. So, I mean, I think, you know, 27, 28 definitely gets that window open. I like to have some assurance in some fuel at the end because, you know, I cut it pretty close last night, Dean. I didn't say anything, but we were cutting it close.
Absolutely.
And I think these guys don't want to do that here tonight.
So good news, though, for Whiting, Walker, and Ashley. They've kind of stabilized their gap now, and they've actually cut in to the lead a little bit of the main group. So they're hanging around 2.5 seconds back, Jared. They're still in it.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. And I think that's going to be the crucial thing for these guys is if they can just get a little bit of help. And what I mean by a little bit of help, some stragglers off pit road. If we get green flag stops, some stragglers to kind of fill in that gap of about 3 seconds and kind of help them find their way back into the main pack. Dean, I think we'll have some stragglers in these pits.
Definitely.
We always do.
Yeah, I mean, groups are going to break up. There will likely be a couple of different groups at different times here. And look for someone to short pit. I mean, short pit, the known strategy of the day, the first in generally does the best. We'll see if anybody takes that to heart. Outside lane forming up towards the back. I see Brantley back in there, so... Looks like you got Ross Valley up there, Jacob Musial, George Leal trying to get back in this thing. Remember, he got shuffled out at one point, I think.
Absolutely. And I think, and that's okay to get shuffled out now, but, I think all these drivers, Dean, they're kind of building a notebook for this race. And kind of like who you can work with and those kind of things in this race.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I had a notebook with one name in it. His name was Smithers.
We're not going to address that over here. I feel like you want to talk about it. Do we need a therapy session?
Sorry, folks. I might need some therapy. It's hard to say. You're not the first person to suggest that, Jared.
Well, I think those might have been for other reasons, man. I don't know.
Well, I got plenty of reasons, no doubt. All right, Jason Spear and Otto Viani with Ratliff. They've been very good. Ricky Williams, too, been at the front all night. Outside lane coming, though. Royce Valley and Musial looking pretty hooked up here. Leo third in line. And, it might be the third and fourth in line here, Jared, just a little unwilling to push. I don't blame them. It's early. But they are hurting that outside lane, aren't they?
They are. And that's going to be something, you see right there, a little bit of wiggle. Musial kind of pushed Royce Valley in the center, off-centered in the middle of that corner. Now that whole outside line just kind of stalled out.
That brings me to my question. You were talking about, getting a Rolodex of who you can trust, who you can't. Is that what we're witnessing? Is Leal hanging off and Brantley hanging off? Are they concerned about the drivers in front of them?
It could be. And you're kind of, that's why sometimes it's, outspace things out and just kind of watch things play out. Because I want to go with a guy that's stable. I want to go with a guy that I can trust, and I want to go with a guy that's willing to make a move. And, right now, you're so early in the race, you're just trying to figure out, that's why I like to kind of move around the pack, especially in races I don't know a lot of people in. You don't know who you can work with. So it is always ongoing in these events, Dean, to kind of figure out who you want to work with.
Absolutely it is. Right now, Otto Viani and Spear, they're going to work together, teammates, practice together, talk together, work together. This is how it works. They want to stay together. It's going to be of the utmost importance that they have good stops, Jared. And you talked about, you've seen some drivers practicing it. You must practice this pit road.
Yeah, and during that practice, Dean, I have to say that there was a lot more strugglers getting on pit road than there were people successfully getting on pit road, which I think it will probably bring some concern. I think, if you don't get on pit road during the practice time safely, I think that kind of lingers in the back of your mind, like, oh man, like, some people can adjust, right? You see the back 3D coming off pit road, they all play together. I like this move because if they can get out here together and kind of suck onto this back of this pack, they might have an opportunity to stay within this race, but they didn't get off pit road good enough, Dean, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, they're not going to make it, I don't think, Jared. Maybe. I mean, they got to make a big move, aggressive move to get that draft, and they're not aggressive with it. They don't get it. So that's a little troublesome, but Not too bad. They're together at least, so that might be something. Interesting pit stop on lap 34. Do we have imminent pit
Here we
stops?
go.
We do.
Oh my goodness.
Here
The
we
whole
go.
field is coming in and we're all over the place.
Wow!
Whitford.
And someone drives through the blue and stays on the track. I don't know who that was.
Derek Whitford in the 44, Dean. He missed pit road, tried to get on pit road, didn't get there, and did a good job just hanging onto the back of this pack. I don't know how he managed to stay involved.
And I just witnessed the Bulldog with the race-saving move there, too. He had Rachel Hunt underneath him. He backs out, lets her go through. Very, very smart. Give up a spot, live to fight another day.
Oh, man. That could have been, that was disaster. The Musial.
Oh, and Musial! Is he out of fuel?
Got to be out of fuel. That car is losing speed, 120, 115. He's out of
Oh
fuel.
my God! How could Musial be out of fuel? Unbelievable! Massive amount of cars on pit road. Everybody looks fairly clean here.
We got damage, Dean. We got damage on Shane Fleming's front end. He must have hit, or is that Shane Fleming? I'm not sure. That might be Austin Hunt. We haven't talked a lot about him. It is Austin Hunt. Damage on the front end of the 95, Dean.
Austin Hunt, relative newcomer here, or coming back at least. We're trying to get a look at him. Can't seem to do it. And there we go.
Oh,
I don't know if it is damaged, Jared. That paint's, it's a unique paint.
Yeah,
I think he's okay.
I think you're right, Dean. I apologize. I looked at that again, and I was like, wait a second. That doesn't look like damage. But from a different angle, it certainly looked like there was damage. So
Yeah, it's that paint will get you. Very interesting. Here comes Sheffield and another group. Oh, and Sheffield almost breaks loose, but he's all right.
Hey, that got Austin Hunt on TV, so I respect it.
Absolutely. All right, so the last group comes in. We go to the main pack. George Leal out front. There comes Spear with a head of steam. Him and Otto Viani. Power right around them. So the 83 and the 53 to the front. Rachel Hunt right there. There goes Tony Stewart. There goes the Bulldog and Ricky Williams. So that
Tony
group
Stewart.
powers right on through. Yeah, that's right. Open your eyes. That's the 20 car out there, folks. Of course, Tony Ratliff is what I meant.
We're just getting back in our mojo, Dean.
There's Nick Burris. He might be in a little trouble here. He's got to hustle.
Yeah, Barris in a bad spot, Whitford in a bad spot. That whole main pack well out in front of them.
But this little breakup, did it help our stragglers from earlier? I think it did, Jared. Michael Walker, well, no, it did not. They're in deep doo-doo. What happened with them? They did not have a good stop, Jared.
Yeah, they didn't have a good stop. They didn't get off pit road good. They were very slow getting off pit road, and that, I mean, it's going to take a lot now. I mean, one of these guys might get their lap back. They did get Jacob Musial, who ran out of gas. So he'll attach onto this group, and Musial looked pretty good. Dean, I don't know how he ran out of gas. Maybe just not good with the throttle, or maybe ran the high side.
Well, he was definitely running the high side a lot, Jared. But I mean, I don't remember him being in the lead, so it would be hard for me to believe he was full throttle the whole time. That's very strange.
Yeah, but he definitely, or maybe, maybe the pedals stopped working. I mean, I've had the USB come unplugged or stop, working. I mean, it's very possible something like that happened, which would obviously make you lose speed very quickly, and you had to reach over and get them plugged back in. But otherwise, I don't know.
I don't know. We look in on Claus Williams and Lance Ripka. They're trying desperately to attach to this group, and I think they've got it. Behind them, Tony Burleson, all alone, helpless feeling. He's been in contention most of the night. No more, Jared. He has fallen off, and he's going to have to wait for this group with Whitford, Lester, Royce Valley, Herb Ashley, Jason Jackson, and others. Those guys got to form up. They are not formed up, and they are hemorrhaging time.
Yeah, and that's not going to be good. We've talked about that a few times. You've got to be communicating together.
The other thing is, Jared, at the front of the main pack, you've got 4, 5, 6 guys at the front. I mean, probably a whole group, but I mean, I know these 6 at the front all know what they're doing. They're not going to jump out of line. They're here to separate from that other pack, and they're formed up and they are opening up the gap.
Absolutely. This main pack, Dean, is pretty deep. I mean, we're talking 15 cars in this main group, and we've lost the rest of them. And Whitford, Leicester, Valley, that group is 4 seconds behind this main pack, and then you have Michael Walker in company there a further 7 seconds back. So yeah, I mean, that's what these green flag pit stops do. I mean, you got to get on off pit road good, otherwise all of a sudden you're out of the running.
Yeah, we got some out in the chat. Old Bebop out there looking in on the Ashleys. Let's look in on them right quick. There is the Whataburger machine of Herb Ashley, currently in 19th. Now they're about 5 seconds off the main pack. And then you got Tom in rough shape right now behind Eric Whiting. They are about 11 to 12 seconds off the main pack. They're going to need a caution to get back in this thing. Thing is, Jared, nobody's running side by side, so a caution probably not going to happen until late, maybe lap 85 or something if you're lucky. And boy, oh boy, that's a long wait when you're back there, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. I think that's it's pain because you have to run single file and try to work together to get back up there. So you can't even race. You're at the mercy of like the other people around you trying to work together. And I'm probably the only person that watches cycling, but it's very similar to cycling. And, it can be really difficult when you're out of the peloton to get back into the pack. And Daytona's very similar to the peloton.
Well, it really is. I mean, I watched a lot of racing back in the day, Jared, bike racing, and I loved it. And you're absolutely right. I mean, they really do a lot of drafting.
Yeah. Yeah, and these guys that go out in the breakaway, they're good for a little while, but it's only because the peloton doesn't care about it. And then eventually the peloton will just work their way back to them. And you have to work together. I mean, people don't realize, like cycling, you think you're by yourself, even if you're in a group, but you still have to work together with these other people that are racing. And same with this pack. This second group, they've got to work together, and they're losing time. I mean, they are 0.7 of a second slower than the last guy in the pack, in the main pack. So Whitford, Leicester, these guys, they're well off the pace in terms of, and they're actually getting caught by those 4 cars running by themselves at the very end.
Well, interesting. This pack is running side by side, Jared, and I don't know what they're racing for, but I mean, there is times a pack 2x2 is faster than a single file pack. I don't think this is one of them, though.
No, I think that's the old draft model. The new draft model, I have yet to see that doesn't mean that I'm correct. I want to put that out there. I'm not saying that that's gospel. I'm saying that is something I have not personally seen. So until proven otherwise, I recommend going single file when you're off the back.
There's our third group, led by Walker, rocking that Pennzoil machine. Him, Musial, Whiting, and Tom Ashley in deep trouble. Out front, who could have figured the 83 of Jason Spear leads this thing?
You said deep trouble, but they gained a second and a half on this second group lead. I mean, if they continue to do that, and this second group continues to be as disorganized and not willing to, what I'll say is combative, not willing to work together, they might be in this pack.
Well, they were 0.3 faster than the leaders, Jared, so they're doing a great job back there. They ran a 47.57 to a 47.88 for our leader.
Yeah, it's still about 0.3 quicker than that middle pack. So I think this is going to be huge. I mean, I think that there is an opportunity for Walker and that final 4 group there to kind of catch back up in here. But again, this race now at the halfway point at the line, Dean, and really we only had about 15 cars with a shot to win at this point, but we saw how the pit stops kind of shuffled this thing up. I expect the next stop will also shuffle things up quite a bit.
Well, it will, and it looks like to me these 15 cars, they're content. Nobody's looking to take away Spears' lead. They're like, hey, let's just keep rocking and rolling, and the top 15 guaranteed if we can get in and out of pit road solidly.
Absolutely.
So grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, and get ready for the conclusion of this. We're a ways away from our next pit stop. Probably, what, another 15, 20 laps, Jared?
I would say so, yeah.
Back of this pack, you got Ripka and Williams. They worked hard to stay here, and it looks like they're still hovering just off the pack. That must be purposeful, you think, Jared?
I don't know if it's purposeful, but I mean they are, and I don't know if I like that, because when you're at the very back of this pack, you have to be kind of working, and if you just fall asleep for just a little bit, you can find yourself in a world of trouble. And you see right there, Ripka and Floss Williams, they're getting in that danger zone where I would start to wake up and see right there they're able to get back up into the pack, but you just don't want to fall asleep.
I think they must know at this point. I mean, they are in the car. I'm in Ripka's car right now, and I can hear lifts and stuff. So they must be thinking, hey, this pace, we can get them at will as long as we don't drop too far back. They seem content, but what I am seeing is the times still not that great. That backpack, though, Jared, that ran that fast time, that's over. They're back to doing slow times now, so they've lost another 2 or 3 seconds over the last couple laps here.
The thing is, and this is something I don't think a lot of people understand, Dean, with plate racing, and they are separated, actually. I went back there. Michael Walker is no longer in this pack. He is well off the back. I don't know what has happened, but something has happened in this backpack. Oh my goodness. Okay, I found it.
I'm getting a replay of it now, Jared. Here we go. So Whiting pushing Walker here. Oh, and he just gets turned down to the inside. Holy cow. Very unexpected there, and Whiting gets damage out of it. Musial goes by, so that, wow, tragedy there.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're thinking about pushing, and you're like, man, we're getting laps, and and then one bad push, and all of a sudden, all that hard work, you got to within 3.7 to 4 seconds of that second group, it's gone. I mean, now you're done again for the third time tonight, and it just it's insult to injury at that point.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like a pretty good push going, and the car just turned a little unexpected. I'd have to analyze it further, Jared, but I didn't see anything egregious there.
No, I mean, but that's the danger, right, of pushing somebody in the corner. If Michael Walker just barely turns the wheel the wrong way and it slides that rear end the wrong way across the front end, it just it's over. Unfortunately.
And the second pack, you got the Toad Man, Jason Jackson, Nick Burries, Derek Whitford, Tom Lester, Ian Spear, Royce Valley's in here, Tony Burleson, and Herb Ashley in the Whataburger machine. So that group still 8 seconds back. Their time of 47.83. The leaders are 47.79. Very comparable, but not making up ground. So when do you make a move here, Jared? I mean, pick a car. Who wants to go to the front? How about Shane Fleming?
Yeah, what I was sitting here thinking and analyzing, is I was looking at these pit times, and everybody pitted, started pitting on lap 34 except the back 4, right? They pitted on 32, or back 3. And me personally, Dean, if knowing that information, you count backwards, right? So you have to make it to lap 80, maybe figure in a green-white checker. Without looking at the rules, don't know if this is a 1 or 2 green-white checker race.
It'd be 1 at most, but I think none. No green-white checker has been the rule as of late.
Okay, yeah, not seeing it on the rules, so you're probably right. So, if that's the case, you count backwards, right? You're like, okay, well, if I can go 35 laps, 81 minus 35, you're talking about lap 46, and I would get my 4 guys or gals and get on pit road as soon as I could and undercut. The undercut strategy with 3 or 4, typically 4 cars is what you need, and it really works. It's very powerful, but you have to have 4 committed drivers to make the undercut work.
Yeah, I mean, I like the strategy. Personally, I might get bored if I was in that lead pack around halfway back there and say, let's go to the front.
That too. That's always an option. I mean, you know, unless there's an idea that you could save so much fuel that you could just maybe take a splash on the last pit stop, and that would obviously save you time.
They just shuffled out the Toad Man in the second group. Sorry, Jared.
That second group, you know, and Dean, you've watched some cycling, so you understand what I say when, you know, they give out awards in cycling for the most combative driver. And this second group has a lot of candidates for the most combative drivers. Not a lot of teamwork back in this second group.
Yeah, they look like they're trying. I mean, it could be a factor of, you know, they thought, hey, I mean, I was going to say overheating, but he was leading. He's not overheating, so very interesting there. Not sure what's going on.
And now Gelly's going to the top by himself. He's like, I'm not even helping this group anymore. I don't care. Now he's going to tuck in. He's like,
I'm sure he's trying to stay out of the way, but yeah, he'll come into the back. You got to be careful. You can lose a draft doing that too, but he hooks on. So he'll attach himself, everything fine. Back out to the main pack. Spear, Ottaviani, Hunt, Ratliff, Newton, your leaders. Ricky Williams, Leal, Brantley, Travis, and Hund, your top 10 right now. And there is a look at that Austin Hund machine with no damage on it, Jared.
Yeah, that like I said, that is a creative paint. Because my angle, it looked like he's smashed in the back of somebody.
Wow, you know.
I got looking.
And just now looking at it, that black in the middle looks like there's a major dent in the middle of that car from this angle. Very interesting.
Clean race, by the way, so far. I mean, we're over halfway through, 54 laps in the books. I mean, we're getting down to the end of this thing, Dean, and you know, now the pit window's open. 56. I mean, that's 35 from the end. So pit window's open here in the next couple laps.
Yeah, and the end's where you got to be careful, Jared. This is where a Smithers can take you out.
Is he watching tonight?
Let's hope, Jared. Let's hope.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, you know, a little personal fun up here in the booth, and you know, I don't mean any ill will towards anyone, do I?
Nah, he's lying. Don't let him lie to you out there in the audience. No, it's you know, it's tonight's been, you know, kind of what we expected tonight, Dean, honestly.
And there's Michael Walker getting lapped, Jared. The 22, I mean, he got that bad push, got turned. Now he'll be in the lucky dog spot, so not all done yet. He's got to know that. He's got to hang in, doesn't he, Jared?
Yeah, that's you know, part of the mental battle that these races have, right? It's like, man, this race has not gone my way at all tonight, and now I've got to sit here in the pack. And he wasn't even able to latch on either, Dean. He really just has not had a good night. He might have got damage.
He might have damage slowing him down, but I think that was a really poor job there, and I think you touched on it, the mental affecting him. He might be very down and very out, but you're in the lucky dog spot. You're not out, so stick with it. We'll see how it goes for him. Right now, status quo, lap 57 and 90. Short pit, I think, Jared, is open. We did see that Musial thing. I don't know what that was, but it looked like he ran out of fuel to me.
Yeah, so yeah, we talked about it. I said lap 80. We had 90 laps tonight, so 56 would have been the window opening, not 46. But yeah, and Dean, when I look at this, the other thing too, and we talked about it in the Gen 4 league, right? No pit road penalties. We went 2 races in a row without any pit road penalties in that series, Dean, and first pit stops here tonight. Nobody got a penalty. So, you know, can that continue on the second pit stop is going to be the big question.
Yeah, I mean, it was really quite a good round of pit stops for everybody. As you see the jetliner taking off or landing there in the background. And here we go. Someone's going to pull out a line. It looks like George Leal to the high side. He's got Brantley with him, and they're going to look to go straight to the front. I think Paul Travis up there as well.
And that pack, Dean, is now separated out. There's some stragglers back in the back of this pack. They might lose the draft because of that move. Somebody fell asleep. Cross Williams, Sheffield, Rance Ripka all fell asleep when that move happened, and they're now out of the pack. And Sheffield has to block Ripka.
And they're coming in. Or maybe they're not. I thought
They're
they
not
were.
coming in. No.
Probably should have come in, Jared, because they've lost the draft. Unbelievable. That move just shocked everybody and left them in the dust.
And that's what I was talking about. You cannot fall asleep when you're in the back of this pack. You will lose the draft if one little thing happens in front of you and you're just not on top of the wheel for it. And these guys see that. You got stragglers all over the back of this pack, and all of a sudden, that one power move has just dropped 4 cars from this main pack.
Unbelievable. What a bonus for this top pack. They're like, hey, we just shook some contenders here.
Literally, yeah. Some guys that I think, you have to circle. I mean, Sheffield, Ripka, they're very good plate racers, but just fell asleep at the wheel on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, they are still hemorrhaging time. They are not catching up at the moment. Outside lane, not doing great so far. Leal trying to get hooked up with Brantley, Travis, and Hunt.
Wow. Leo did a great job getting those guys behind him communicated up. I'm assuming they're all on the same team. And boy, oh boy, when they did that, it shockwaved this group.
It really did. What an impressive move. I don't think they were expecting to lose people. They were just trying to go to the front, but what a bonus. I mean, now you're looking at a 10-car pack here, Jared, and pit stops likely to drop off a couple of more.
Yeah, 100%. This has kind of woken this race up a little bit. I mean, that was a something you just didn't see coming, and now all of a sudden that second pack, Dean, not the stragglers off the back, but the actual second pack aren't that far behind the stragglers now.
Well, let's have a look. There are your stragglers, as Jared calls them, deplorables. And then you got your other
Chase group.
You got your other group, the Jason Jackson, Nick Burris, Whitford, and others. Now they're about 9 seconds off of our leader. Musial and Whiting, part of that group that had a problem there. That group is about 26 seconds, so they got to start thinking about lead lap stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. That's a very important thing.
And I'd be pitting if I was them, Jared. Let's get in and get something done. Leal on the high side looking for the lead. Not getting much of a push from Brantley, but they're still working the high side.
Yeah, there's 5 cars that are lined up. I would probably throw in the towel and just communicate to pit together here in the next lap or two, because that undercut is still powerful enough to make it work, to get back up to this pack, but they're going to have to do it sooner than later.
Well, what you hope is you have stragglers, Jared, and they're spread out, so you can just use that draft, pick them off, use another one, pick him off.
Yeah, I 100% agree, yeah.
Right now, you look at someone like the Bulldog just riding at the back of this main pack. Now only 9 cars in this pack. Ricky Williams has dropped off somehow, Jared.
Yeah, and Ricky, I was watching that happen, Dean. He was just at the back of the pack. And again, like I said, if you just let off too much and you just all of a sudden, you think you're in the pack and then all of a sudden the pack's left you. And Ricky, that's pretty much textbook example of that.
Okay, he is right there. He's still sniffing it. I think he's going to get back in this thing. But man, that's super close. He's right in that zone. On the high side, Leal, your new race leader. Brantley, Travis, and Hunt. Inside is Spear, Ottaviani, Hunt, and Tony Ratliff. The Bulldog lingering, waiting to make his move.
And the chase group did a good job. Ricky Williams kind of played that link that they needed, and now that chase group is back in it.
I wonder if Ricky dropped back to suck them back in here. Interesting. So all of a sudden, 15 cars back together. Rick Thompson last in line. He's got to be happy.
Yeah, and if Ricky didn't do that intentionally, they owe him a beer. If he did do it intentionally, they owe him a beer.
Fair enough. A beer is owed. Can you get a hot dog with that?
Yeah, you can always get a hot dog.
I mean, you can send a couple up to the booth right now, folks.
Yeah, I'll take one, sure. Yeah. If you're going down there, you might as well go.
Now, what do we put on it, Jared? That's the question.
Well, you got to put mustard.
Thank you. Just stop right there, Jared, before you ruin this conversation.
No, with 99% of the time I'm eating hot dogs or brats, it's mustard only.
Oh, Jared, I mean, I think I'm in love.
Now, being from Cincinnati, living in Cincinnati, we do like our chili on our hot dogs. So I know people frown on that, but
I mean, it's
good.
all right. I mean, as long as you're not putting sauerkraut on there, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't do the German hot dog thing.
All right, we got some pitters here. Musial, Whiting. So they're in. Ashley, Tom Ashley, Michael Walker, all on pit road.
And that was the deep group, the Group C. Here comes the leaders in. Some of the leaders. The inside line is going in, Dean.
Very interesting. Tony
drivers.
Ratliff shooting the middle. Looks safe. Everybody's safe. Got to watch it here. Otto Viani in a hook spot here. He cannot hook himself on Tony Ratliff. Ratliff dives in. They're safe. Newton crawls into his stall there. That's something to watch at 2. A little tentative coming in.
Yeah,
it looks
don't
like
want to lose.
That Tony Ratliff coming off a pit road first and alone. I mean, Newton straggled way back. Yeah, I don't know. Same with Spear. This is not a great stop for this group. They are all broken up, Jared.
This is bad, actually.
Second group coming in. Leo leads them down. You see the chase group behind them. So that first group, that was a disaster of a pit road. No unity. They did not come out together. Oh, and Hunt with evasive maneuvers on Travis there. Great job of not wrecking both of them.
Yeah, wild. And Jason Spear is not getting up to speed very quick either, Dean, and he is well off the back of Odie Viani and Rachel Hunt. I think this group has really screwed the pooch here. I think they had an opportunity, Dean, and now all of a sudden they're at the mercy of this lead group, the second group that pitted, Dean, and they're coming out organized. I mean, very organized.
This is a disaster for this group. There is Otto Viani and Hunt. Spear alone. Newton back alone. There's Whiting and Tom Ashley. I mean, this is going to shake things up. We got more pitters, and we got Nick Baris, it looks like, in the wall. If I'm not, no, I don't, yes, it was. He towed. Oh, goodness. Baris, big trouble.
Yeah, we also had our first penalty, Jacob Musial, who has already had that problem with the maybe running out of gas. Dean, earlier he got a penalty for too fast entering.
Maybe you can check on Jackson. It looked like he's crab walking down pit road, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what happened to him, Jared. Right now, Sheffield, your leader, with Ricky Williams and Rick Thompson. These 3 cars all alone. We have to bring up our pit board here to see. They have not pitted. But still, they're probably opening an up advantage. They come up, get a draft on the Bulldog. So this is going to help these guys kind of come together. If the Bulldog latches on here, and maybe they can get up the Spear, and maybe they'll collect each other. But I'm telling you, big advantage to those 3 drivers.
So here's what happened to Jason Jackson. So, we always talk about, getting on pit road safely. Well, they must have dialed the brake bias back because we had synchronized spins here from Jason Jackson. He locks up the rears, spins the car, and he hits the wall right where the opening is, and that destroyed the car. And then Baris slides into the back of him when he's not completely in the pit stall, so it also created some damage. So both heavy damage to the 86 and the 66.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, that's a, just to call it out, Jared, it's a rookie mistake. Cannot have a low brake bias. There's no need for it here. And certainly can't have it on pit road entrance here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this all shakes out because we've gotten more penalties coming through, Dean, on our screen. We got Derek Whitford with the penalty. We've got Royce Valley with the penalty. Paul K. Travis with the penalty.
Wow. So second stops did not work out. Here comes Sheffield, Williams, and Thompson. They come in together. We'll see how they get on pit road. A little nervous from Sheffield. The other two look solid here. They're side by side, but Williams gets down and in his stall early. Safe entrance. We'll see how they come off. That's going to swing it around to George Leal, Brantley, Fleming, Hun, Williams, and Ripka, along with, well, we got a lap car, the 44 car in that group as well. Here's Sheffield coming off, and he's coming off alone. Rick Thompson, Ricky Williams, so they're all spread out. They might as well slow down and get together because they're not going anywhere alone, Jared.
Yeah, well, I think Sheffield is just far enough ahead that he might be able to get up to speed with this main group. But the other two, I think, are a DOA. I don't think they're going to be able to do much. But Sheffield, I think he's going to be close to being able to latch onto this main pack, Dean.
Well, here is the main pack going around Rick Thompson right now. That's led by George Leal as they go around Sheffield as well.
He needs to pull up right there. Whitford didn't do him any favors.
No, and that's not great. He might catch up. I think he will. Will Rick Thompson? I don't think so. Ricky Williams, he's got a hope for. There's Hunt and Otto Viani. Remember, they had good stops, but the rest of their group didn't. Tony Ratliff with them here, so they've been hampered. This really shook out wildly. 18 to go, Jared. Leal out front with Brantley chasing now. Things have shook up.
Sheffield now in the pack. Whitford let him go, and they swap positions back there at the end. We'll see where this all shakes out. So we got 7 cars in the main pack. Rick Thompson off the back. He has lost the main pack, and he'll be caught by Ricky Williams, Rachel Hunt, Odibiani, Ratliff in a matter of maybe a corner at this point. So that's going to be the second group, Dean. The third group is going to be Spear, the 2 Spears, Ian and Jason, Lester, Burleson, Adam Newton with a not great pit stop. That was that first group that came in, Dean, or besides the off-the-back guys, that came in all straggly, came off pit road all straggly.
I mean, and they had a lead, Jared. They're in the main pack. They had seconds on some of these cars that are now in front of them. Unbelievable shake-up here.
Yeah, and that also includes Gilly and Herb Ashley, who are in that second group during green flag. So that's how far back they've dropped. And then you have 2 drivers off the back. That's Whiting and Tom Ashley on the lead lap. Then we have Whitford, Valley, Paul Travis, and Michael Walker. Musial all 1 lap down through various issues. Walker, we saw him spin, and he lost a lap under green flag conditions. Everybody else, a pit road penalty. And then we have 2 drivers on the garage, Dean. That's Jackson and Baris. And I would say that their night is effectively over. They're pretty much racing each other for last place at this point.
Wow, what a shame. But, one person's downfall, another's opportunity here. And you can see that second pack. It has formed up nicely now. They're currently 4 seconds back. So we'll see. Can they do it? Otto Viani pushing Hunt for all he's worth here.
See at the line.
I mean, they're making time up. They're making it up in a hurry, too, Jared.
Lead group right there. 47.8. Rachel Hunt did a 47.5, so, I mean, that is good. 3/10 quicker.
Yeah,
they got 16 laps to do it. I don't know if that's the pace they need to get there.
Well, regardless of what the times say, they're about 8/10 ahead of where they were just moments ago. So they are closing. I mean, but that's going to ebb and flow, Jared. That's, this is not a constant here.
what they need is somebody in that main group to kind of be like, I'm going to go up on the high side and kind of slow this group down. But if this group continues to remain or single file, this second group, it does have the numbers, but
I'm going to interject something here, and I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Brantley here in second place is not pushing, Jared. He has not been pushing basically all race. We've seen him on the high side do this too. Very tentative. He's leaving about a half car length in between him and Leal. That slows down this group. There's no doubt about it. It's not debatable. So Hunt and them, they're a little snugger here, and they are running them down. Now they are cracked 3 seconds to Brandon Sheffield.
Yeah, the other thing too, and we almost talked about it earlier, but I think we had a little bit of a incident on track. But when a driver behind you is getting hot, the lead driver should drop off the lead, and the next guy should cycle in. That's how these other packs catch back up to the main group. Instead of letting off and being like, I need to cool my car down. Don't cool your car down at all. Just the lead driver, drop off the front, drop to the rear, and continue that cycle until you've caught up to the main pack.
I'm sorry. Are you asking the leader of the race with 13 to go to the back?
No, I'm saying the second pack, Dean.
Oh, second. Yeah.
The chasing pack.
I'm sorry. Yeah. No, absolutely, Jared.
Yeah, chasing pack, instead of letting off and being like, oh, I'm hot, the leader should just drop off of that second group. Like right now, Rachel Hunt, if Odiviani gets hot, she should drop to the back, Odiviani take over. When Ratliff gets hot, Odiviani drops to the back and just continue that cycle, and you'll catch up much quicker and easier that way than letting off and waiting for the
And I think that's what we just witnessed, right? I've seen a lot of spacing, and that's Odiviani cooling his car down. Like you said, now they've stalled out at about 2.8 seconds, and that's not good. They've got to do what you're saying. I think if they work together in that fashion, it'd probably be quicker. They may get here, though. 12 to go. Looks like Brantley's starting to step up his game. There he goes. He's getting in there. That's some good push. And Brantley says, you're not catching us. And he's saying, I'm not going to listen to your crap, Dean, also.
Brantley's pushing, but the rest of this pack is so spaced out. I mean, there is no help outside of Brantley pushing right there in this pack. This pack up here is too spaced out. They are not working together. You have the third place car should not push the second place car. That's obvious. You should bubble push, which means stay right on the back bumper but not locked to the back bumper of the second place car. And all these other cars just need to be closer and tighter.
Yeah, like a good way, Jared, you say, like, if you look at your relative, that 0.1, that is kind of where you want to sit if you're in that third hole, right? Yeah,
the third hole, it may be a little bit closer than exactly 0.1, but yeah, right about. But, these other guys, the 16 machine, Sheffield, these guys, they're just leaving too much gap, and that's going to allow this second group to catch them if the second group can continue to be organized.
Well, they've cut it now to 2.5 seconds, and they're absolutely flying right here, right now. Good push from Otto, 2.4 to the back car of the lead pack. So they're going to get here at this pace. You can see when we flash from the blimp view, this main group all has major spacing. They're just not attacking it. I don't blame them, but they're going to have 5 more cars to contend with, Jared.
Yeah, and it goes back to the cycling thing. You got to work together in the group you're with, even if they're not on your team. And right now, there's just a lot of just like, okay, well, I'm going to wait around until lap 5 to go to kind of push it. And they're not thinking about these other guys chasing them down.
Yeah, and they continue to come here. A little cool down period. Right now, about 2.4. It starts to come down again as they start to heat up their push again. 9 to go. George Leal out front. Brantley second. Shane Fleming in third. Austin Hunt in fourth. Claus Williams in fifth. Ripka, Sheffield, all in this group. There goes Sheffield to the high side. With 9 to go, he says it's time to make a move.
He's got Whitford with him. I believe they're on the same team, but I was about to ask while you're talking, Dean, who's going to make the move first? And you're already seeing right there, Sheffield side drafting the 16 machine of Klaus Williams, and that's created some separation there. The top 4 kind of pulling a little bit of a gap there. He needs more help, though.
I could have told you that the Chameleon would not be content at the back of this pack. He wants to come to the front. The second group, they have lost a little bit of time here, so very interesting. That might be just as simple as the pack has condensed into double file, but now as it stalls out and Sheffield has to fall to the back again, I'm sure it'll cycle back around. Now 2.3 seconds all of a sudden.
Ripka went to the high side, but didn't have anybody with him. That was a strange move. And you do have 2 lap cars. I do want to point that out. Paul Travis and Whitford are both 1 lap down, so that is something to kind of think about in this race. And so they are racing each other for a position, on top of also these other guys racing for position. Oh, we got somebody else jumping to the front. That's Klaus up to the high side.
Klaus Williams jumps up there, so you got 4 cars up here. Soon they will get the momentum, and Sheffield goes down. He doesn't like it, Jared. They had 4 cars, now they don't. I mean, they're not working well together. That second pack continuing to close.
I don't think the second pack's going to get there, Dean. At least not get there in time to make anything happen. They might catch him at the very end. But this main pack, nobody's willing to do anything to help get his second line moving. I mean, this is wild. I would be up on the back end of Ripka all day long if I'm Whitford and Sheffield.
So interesting here.
Klaus is going to need to side draft, though, Dean. He's going to have to pinch these guys a little bit tighter than what he's doing. Here he goes. Oh, here we go. Oh, little throw up there by Shane Fleming. Here we go.
All right, things heating up. High side getting wound up. Here they come. Klaus Williams to the front as soon as he can get there. Leal, your leader right now, with Brantley pushing.
Klaus doing everything he can up front. Needs a little bit more side draft from Ripka behind him. And is Brantley going to abandon? He does. He goes up to the high side.
Wow, Brantley with the power move leaves Leal. He'll fade back to Fleming's front end. The high side, a big run. They'll drive right around him.
And here's the other thing too, Dean. There is a bunch of stragglers, not necessarily a pack. None of them are racing together very well. So I wouldn't consider a pack. They might catch this back end of this group.
Yeah, this group keeps playing games. I love what Brantley did, though. He did not go down, Jared. He knows the high side's quicker. He's going to stay up here till the end.
Yeah, but he needs Klaus Williams on him. I don't know if Klaus wants to work with him or not. It doesn't seem like it. And when Klaus gets that big jump there, I mean, that big bubble is not helping Brantley at all, and that stalls out the line. So Brantley's getting out too far in front of Klaus Williams. Can this outside line make a second move? I mean, Brantley's going to have to make this move and rely that Klaus is going to stay on him, and Klaus is just not staying with him.
4 to go. They're hemorrhaging time. The second group within 2 seconds, maybe too little, too late. We'll see. They got to get down to under 1 to get really any kind of help. They're not getting it yet. Here comes the outside lane again. Leal and Fleming on the bottom trying to hold on. Hutton comes in there third on the bottom.
Klaus he's off the back too much for Brantley, and this is just not helping him right here. But Leal gets a little bit loose on the bottom. Fleming waving around just a little bit too, Dean. That's going to hurt the inside line. A little bit of a power move from the outside going to the tri-oval. 4 to go at the line.
3 to go at the line, Jared. 3 to go right now. Brantley out in front and again decides to stay up here. I love this by Brantley. He's got to be careful, though. People will look to shoot underneath him. Shoot on the high side of him. He cannot get left. If he gets left, he's going to the back.
Fleming got loose in the corner, Dean. I think he got the apron, and that killed the bottom line. Brantley's clear. He's going to have to drag brake. Drag brake. Do not get that big of a lead out there, Jason. You're going to get overran.
Yep, Brantley still leading. Here comes the inside lane again. That other group getting closer.
Oh, they're sniffing. And that straggler pack is also might come into play.
All right, 2 to go. Brantley, your leader, rocking that the East Coast Web Printers machine.
Never won, Dean, in RGR competition, at least from the records. I mean, maybe a non-points or something, but nothing that I see in the official results. So this is huge. If Brantley can hold on, we know Leal's caliber. He's won races in mini series, at least I think all of the series in this league. So this is huge. Shane Fleming looking for his first ever RGR win.
What a race. High side starts to surge one more time. Here comes the second pack. There's Hunt. Big run. Will they go to the high side? Otto. Rachel does not take the high side. 1 to go. Brantley out front. Claus Williams pushing for all he's worth. They go to the bottom. They open up the high side. Here comes Hunt.
Ripka, oh, Claus Williams gets loose, hits the wall hard.
Oh, and Hunt is wrecked. They keep going. It's still Brantley. Oh, no, and Fleming wrecks Sheffield. Here's Brantley out front. Ripka chasing. Austin Hunt with a surge on the outside. The 76 and Rick Thompson up there with a head of steam. He is going to push Austin Hunt through 4. Another car turned and wrecking. Austin Hunt, here comes Thompson on the high side. At the line, it's Thompson. Holy cow.
Goodness. Wow. Rick Thompson, how did you do?
Wow. Rick Thompson, a late move to the outside. Steals victory here. Unbelievable.
Jason Brantley, Dean, was leading this race coming at pit road, and he loses it and finishes off the podium.
Well, let's go back and get a little replay. And wow, we went right to the middle of it here. Not good stuff here. You see some of these guys who were chasing from the second pack getting up here, and it's Hunt, Rachel Hunt. Oh, and there's Claus into the wall. Hunt gets a piece of it, and then she turns out of Vianney, no fault of her own there. And up in front, Fleming also come up the track and took Sheffield out. And then we got the race to the end. Here it is. Hunt, your leader on the high side. They had the momentum. And watch Rick Thompson. Late here. He decides to go up to the high side and somehow gains a speed boost. And right at the line, steals victory from Austin Hunt.
Yeah, that's a textbook side draft move in these cars. Dean, you pull down, you side draft, and then you yank up so you don't get the anti-side draft, and he did that. And he did it perfectly, and my goodness, what a job. Won by 0.02 of a second. 24 thousandths to be exact.
What a race here this evening. Rick Thompson still having fun down in the grass, burning her down. I don't blame him one bit. Let's take a look at our results and see our tragedies and our good ones. Of course, Thompson and Hunt won 2. Tony Ratliff gets through the mayhem for 3rd. Brantley 4th. Ricky Williams recovers for a 5th place finish. Ripka, Leal, Hunt, Claus Williams, Brandon Sheffield, your top 10. Gilly in 11th. Spear 12th. Burleson 13th. Ian Spear, Adam Newton, that's your top 15. You can find your favorite driver beyond that. I'm sure there's a couple of heartbreaks in there, Jared.
Yeah, you look through this list and you talk about some drivers. Adam Newton was doing good. He finishes way back off the back. How about Ian Spear, though? Probably was running on the top in the main group, but he did start 27th, finishes 14th. Good job for him. Eric Whiting, I mean, throughout all the chaos, Eric Whiting persevered. Dean, shout out to those guys. They were one of the 3 drivers. Him and Tom Lester, Tom Ashley, they were off the back pretty much all night. And Eric Whiting comes home 17th, and then some other heartbreaks deeper in the field. Michael Walker just didn't have a good race. Paul Travis with the troubles.
Fleming and Otto Vianney in there.
They didn't even we're in the main group, Dean, at the end, and just couldn't finish the race. There's too much damage on those machines, and that's
Yeah.
tough to be 5th place, in turn 2 and then finish 20th.
It's almost like Smithers was here. Just gotta keep the theme alive, folks. Right now, let's go to a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews in. All right, a little look at the Acura NSX GT3 machine, Jared. Looks fast.
Yeah, it wasn't at Daytona though.
Well, that's fair, no doubt. Rick Thompson in Victory Lane here on opening night. These Arca cars here. It was a pretty interesting race overall. Jared had a little bit of everything. Some single file, some pack breakup, some chasers making it back in, and of course our last lap excitement there. Actual thrilling finish here at Daytona.
Yeah, it was. And the funny thing is, Dean, they're going from Daytona, and then they got 2 short tracks and a dirt track. So everything you learned here tonight, you toss out the window.
Well, and
Obviously,
the other thing is, Daytona can cause anger, Jared, and then anger leads to short tracks and dirt tracks. Oh boy, we got ourselves.
Yep.
We could have some controversy before this season even gets going, basically.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into some race interviews here. We bring in our 3rd place finisher, the number 6, Tony, the gunslinger Ratliff. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you, Dean. Wow, what a roller coaster ride.
Wasn't it, though? Boy, he had a little bit of everything tonight, Tony, but the main thing is car was fast and he ran up front a lot tonight.
Yeah, we got jumped up on the top lane there, and it started steamrolling, and when it got really good there, looked like the half of them jumped to the bottom, and I thought, well, I'll just stay right up here, and me and Ricky and the new guy, Anthony, we worked together a lot, and we just let it roll right to the front. And, yeah, I got up there and got to lead a few laps and actually finish.
Yeah, well, that's always important here for sure. But I love it, Tony. We were talking about it in the booth. It's exactly what you just described. You'd see, the outside go up, and then 2 cars drop down. Outside goes up, 2 cars drop down. I'm like, well, seems to me like maybe you should stay up there, and that's what you chose to do, right, Tony?
Yeah, it got me up to the front from what, 20th place or something like that. I couldn't believe it. But hey, man, at these tracks, you get a big head of steam and you can hang on to it. You get all you can out of it. Just like the last lap there, we
Well,
we
let's
kinda
talk
out
about
of
it.
it just riding. So I'll let you handle that part.
Well, let's talk about it, Tony. I mean, we get into this is this is going to happen. First, you got a chase group that just caught up at the last lap. They finally got there, so they're going to throw it into the mix here. And you got others that are trying to get up there. The people on the outside, inside, fighting for all this momentum. I mean, mayhem's going to happen. It's inevitable at this track. It happens almost every time. What were you thinking? Were you just like, hey, pedals to the floor, and I've already said my prayers and sacrificed my chicken. Whatever happens, happens.
That's that's exactly what I was thinking. It was no time to lift. I've made that mistake before, and Rachel parted the sea for us, you could say. I mean, I knew she was going to take them right up the middle, and I thought, well, I've come with them this long. I'm staying with them. Whatever happens, happens. And we squeaked through there, I thought, pretty clean, and still carried that head of steam. And I don't know what happened up front, but we ended up doing about the same thing with that group up there. I seen smoke and cars squirting left and right, and I just kept it to the floor and eyes going left and right and tried to stay off everybody and get through them.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of finishing these things up near the front, Tony, is not a lot of bad blood, just good feelings as you go into short tracks and dirt track coming up. So it doesn't get any easier going forward. But boy, you're gonna maybe. I mean, it's not a victory, but third place at Daytona is pretty darn close to one, isn't it?
It sure is. It is for me. Like I said, we was just struggling to catch them. We would gain and then we'd lose, and just doing everything we could to, try. The car was like getting pulled around by the air, and somebody wobble in front of you, and that gets you wobbling, and you just have to hang on and deal with it. And we played it close on gas. I ran out as soon as before we got to turn one. I was sputtering.
Wow.
So I don't know. I had a really good pit stop. Too good of a pit stop, I think, kind of cost me a little bit. I don't know what happened to my group, but they done something different.
Yeah, it definitely did not work out on pit stops, but it did work out for you in the end, Tony. Congrats on third place. We'll give you the mic, my friend. Anybody want to shout out or thank, please do.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate you guys doing these races. I think we put on a good show there at the end, about as good as you can get, and good job there with all that. We appreciate it. Thanks to JB for sponsoring this series, East Coast Web Printers. Just can't thank him enough. Kailu Glass on Tuesday night, and of course, a live church on Sunday night. We appreciate those people so much. Words can't describe it. Got a shout out to Ricky Williams. He worked with me a lot tonight. We diced around there at the front for a lot of that race. Ended up together there at the end, and that was a lot of fun. The new guy Anthony, same with him. I think me and him pushed to the front together. So I thought I'd stick with him and feel him out a little bit. And he's a driver, so that was fun to discover and kind of worked to my benefit at the same time. It was one of the few races that I actually had a good time all the way through. It wasn't one of them where you had a great time until you didn't. So really appreciate racing with those guys, and 99% of it no contact and real clean race, and we'll just take that third and scoot on out of here. Appreciate everybody that runs the league, and we'll hit them again next week.
All right, look forward to it, Tony. That is a very happy number 6, Tony Ratliff, with a third place finish here tonight.
Yeah, I'm down here, Dean, on pit road with Austin Hunt. Austin coming back after about a year and a half absence and getting a second place, but I think you probably felt like you deserved to win tonight after the way that ended.
Yeah, I kind of gave that one away out there on that last lap. I should have just stayed in front of old Rick there, but it is what it is. I'm just glad to finish this race in one piece.
And that's how I feel every time I come to play track, so I understand. But let's talk about your race. I want to point out, number one, the paint scheme. I mean, I thought you had some damage on the front of that thing. I mean, the way the paint kind of looks on the screen, but that car was hooked up all night. You seemed like you were finding your way through the field. During that opening part, did you find some guys that you could work with? Did you find some guys that what was your strategy at the beginning part of that race before we got down to the brass tacks of it?
Really, my strategy anytime for any of the plate tracks is just try to stay in the middle somewhere on the bottom lane and keep a little air bubble in front of the car in front of you. That way you don't get wadded up when they check up, and see how it plays out at the end and move forward when you can. So. But I did have a group of guys to race with tonight, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're kind of up in the main pack, got on and off pit road really well. But let's talk about the end. I think that's the thing that's the big thing. So you're coming off turn 4 there. You know, you got Brantley leading, and then something happens with Klaus Williams. Talk us through that. You know, you're pretty much right. You got a front row seat for everything all the carnage that happened at the end.
Yeah, really, all I saw was JB get sideways on the apron, and I just kind of kept it pinned, moved up the track a little bit because I had a little room to do so. And next thing I know, it's like the seas just parted, and I just kept it pinned right through the middle.
And then you're coming off turn 4, and Ricky was pushing you. Did you think that? I noticed, you know, you're coming off the turn 4, you're coming down into the trioval. Did you think that that Brantley and Ripka had a run on the bottom? Because it looked like you kind of hesitated to block, and as soon as you kind of made that hesitation down there, Ricky Williams just went to your outside, side drafted, and there really didn't look like there was much you could do back there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that, you know, when he got right behind me, he gave me a good shot coming into the trial. I thought that pretty much would have killed his run. And it, you know, in the mirror, it looked like they were coming on the inside again. So I started to move down, but I was like, nah, I don't know. I started to move back up, and then he was already out there. So then I just started going down the track, trying to get away from him, but he ended up inching it out.
Well, it was tough. I mean, it's a great run, like you said. You know, I'm right there with you. If I finish the plate race without any damage, and I'm pretty happy. But you know, we're switching gears. The next 3 races in this series, we got Richmond, we got Iowa, and we got USA Dirt. How are you feeling about the next 3 races being totally different than Daytona?
That's my style of racing right there, where you actually got to think about what you're doing.
Well, Austin,
I
great
like
job
all the
here
short
tonight.
tracks.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm saying I like all the short tracks and tracks. You actually got to think a little bit, use some brake and racing lines to get up there.
Well, it's going to be exciting to watch those races, exciting to watch you out here tonight. Austin, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, let you have the last word on your race here this evening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. First of all, I want to thank the wife and the kids for giving me a little bit of peace and quiet when I want to sit down and do this stuff. And then the group at 4D, all the sim racing stuff they've supplied me with throughout the last couple of years. And of course, everybody that runs in this league is just spectacular. So I'm glad to be back.
All right, Dean, that's Austin Hund, runner-up finish after a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, he had a bit of a hiatus, had a great finish and a great run, but one man, just one man, the 76, Rick Thompson down in victory lane as he stole it there, coming out of 4. Congratulations, Rick.
Oh, thanks, Dean. Man, I tell you what, if you had told me, you know, with 1 lap to go when we took the white flag, that I'd be sitting here talking to you at the end of this thing, with the win, I would have told you there was no way on God's green earth that would happen.
Man, Daytona is the place for miracles to happen, Rick, and it happened to you tonight. You know, any race car driver can tell you they don't happen often, do they, Rick? When they happen, boy, oh boy, are they fun.
Oh man, I had a freaking blast on that last lap, and man, I tell you what, I've enjoyed coming up here and being able to talk to you boys at the end of this thing. I need to try to come in here more often. This is nice.
Well, next time, bring some beer with you, Rick, for God's sakes. But
Well, I was about to open one right here. You know.
all right.
There we go.
There we go. Victory lane celebration well underway. Rick, it wasn't all roses for you tonight. You know, we had some pit stops that may or may not have quite worked out with how everybody got grouped together. You had to kind of work at one point to rejoin the pack, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was following around the 36 most of the night. He and I were working together for pretty well through the night, and I stayed with him through the first pit stop. And when he stayed out the second time a little bit, I was like, well, you know, we're probably staying out a little too long, but you know, we'll see how it works out. And after the pits went through, I just kind of got just barely caught off the cycle with everybody, and I didn't end up in that front group. I got caught with the second group. I think Rachel was leading the second group up there. We did a great job catching them right at the end there, but when all the calamity happened on the last lap, I just basically was in, you know, survival mode, just looking for holes to punch the car through and hopefully make it across the line. And then when I followed Austin up to the end and coming out of turn 4, Austin, I had a nice little bit of steam coming, and then he just dropped down out of the blue, and I was like, I'm not sure why you're dropping down because I'm moving. And when he dropped, I just got the run, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be going for the win here.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mistake. I think Austin regrets that now because it's not really like you put a move, is it, Rick? Like you just said, he just kind of dropped down, and the car, surprisingly, you would think the air would hit you and maybe slow you down, but man, it's like you got a little speed boost there.
Yeah, I just hit the afterburners on that. For some reason, as soon as he dropped, it's like I got an extra 5 miles an hour or something out of the blue. It just started going, and I was like, "Oh, I got to run." I guess I got to just go for it now. But
Wow.
yeah, I wasn't really trying to go. I wasn't going to really try to go around him coming out because I was just thankful that we made it through in one piece, to be honest with you. And then when he dropped down and I got the run, I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm gonna go for it."
Man, oh man, what a gift it was, Rick. What a way to start a season. You get a couple of tough ones there. We ask you to look forward here at a couple of short tracks, a dirt track. Well, what are your thoughts going forward on this Arca car?
Well, you know me. I like the short tracks. So I mean, both of my wins previous to this one has been in the short track. Now I got a plate race. So I like the short tracks. I'm good with that. I'm happy about the short tracks. I just got to figure out some way to get around those 1.5s. Usually the warden ends up beating me on those things, but we'll see what I can do with those when those come up. But yeah, I'm super happy about the start of the season. Hopefully we could take some momentum into Sunday's race and see if we could come out with a similar result. That'd be great. But yeah, I'm super stoked.
Man, I couldn't be happier for you, Rick. Great to see you back in victory lane. That was an awesome run. We'll turn it over to you, brother. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
First, want to thank my wife for letting me come down and race and do all this, and I spend a little bit of time away from her to do this love of mine. And thank the league, all the guys that make things happen, all the admins. Thank all the sponsors, East Coast Web Printing for tonight's series, a live church for Sunday, and a Caillou Glass for the Tuesday night series. Thank all those sponsors for helping make it happen. Thank you guys both at One Tunnel TV. You guys always do amazing broadcasts. I always go back and watch them and love listening to the broadcast back. So super thankful that you guys are here broadcasting this league as well. And thanks for all the drivers out there. I love being in this league. Best league on the service, in my opinion.
All right, Jared, a very happy and not quite yet drunk Rick Thompson down
We're getting
here
there. We'll get there.
in victory lane.
Yeah, what a run. I mean, that's how you start your season off right? I mean, you saw an opportunity. I mean, he was left for dead. I mean, let's remember how this race was looking. He was part of that second group. He lost the main group, Dean. He came off. He was just a little bit slow for that main group off pit road, and he was about a second behind the last car in that group, and he just could not latch on. He ended up getting back there with Rachel Hunt. Rachel did a whale of a job just leading and commanding that group and getting back up there, Dean, and that set up the whole thing. That set up the carnage. I didn't think they were going to get there. I kind of dismissed it, and they ended up being the spoilers. So Rick was in that second group. I mean, they were 4 seconds back with 10 laps to go, or 2 seconds back with 10 laps to go, Dean. And Rick Thompson gets done. And you think about the heartbreak for Brantley. I think he was maybe thinking he could get this thing done for the first time in his RGR career. And, that's what Daytona is all about, though, Dean.
And Hun, too. A mistake there at the end, pulling down the track, Jared. I mean, these things will haunt you for a little while, but great showings. I mean, Brantley 4th, Hun 2nd, Tony Ratliff 3rd, Ricky Williams down in 5th. So everybody, you know how tough Daytona is. You got to be happy if you're in that top 5, no doubt.
Yeah, and the thing is the next, we've talked about it. We've kind of asked some of the guys that have been up here in the booth. I mean, you have Richmond, Iowa, and USA Dirt. I mean, that's a combination of tracks that is just going to be absolutely crazy, and it's going to shake up the standings. I mean, there's no doubt about it. These short tracks, there's going to be some guys that are going to get mad at each other, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen the next 3 weeks. And hopefully everybody tunes in here on Wintunnel TV and watches along with us here on this new Thursday night series.
Absolutely. Big thanks to East Coast Web Printers here tonight. But that's going to wrap it up from Daytona. For myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.